sun shines on the righteous. My goodness, what a scorcher you've brought. What a beautiful crowd you are. Far beyond the eye can even see. Friends, the opposition who sit in that chamber in Holyrood, they tell me that we are narrow nationalists. Well, I look at this crowd and I see people of all ethnicities and races. I see people who are religious. I see the agnostic and the atheist. I see the Highlander and the Lowlander. I see those from the cities and those from the islands. I see those who are straight and gay, lesbian, bisexual. I see our trans community. I see them all here. I see our movement. I see our movement in its most beautiful diversity, the beautiful tapestry of our nation. And I'm reminded of the words of my mentor, the late and great Bashir Ahmed, who said, "It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where we're going together as a nation." And I can tell you now, I know where we are going together as a nation. We are going, our destination as an independent nation, and of course an independent nation in the very heart of the European Union where we belong. I cannot tell you, friends, what an honour it is standing here on this stage addressing you as the First Minister of the greatest country on God's green earth. And as I was walking down the Royal Mile, visual reminder after visual reminder of how Scotland has contributed to humanity and contributed to the world, whether it's through fantastic economists and moral philosophers like Adam Smith, great explorers, anti-slave campaigners like David Livingstone, whether it's through social justice campaigners like Mary Barber, great scientists like Mary Somerville, whether it's like great poets like the Baird, Rabbie Burns, who taught the world a thing or two about love and romance, maybe a little bit too much, I have to confess. But our glories, our achievements, they're not of some mythical past. They're not of a day that has bygone. We're still contributing to the modern world, still giving to humanity, whether it's through our excellent food and drink, our world-class universities, our renewable technologies, our life sciences, our fintech, our financial services, whether it's through great people like Nobel Prize-winning scientist David Macmillan, whether it's through phenomenal athletes like Josh Kerr, Eilish McColgan, and Scotland's warrior Andy Murray, whether it's through musicians and artists like Emily Sandé or Calvin Harris, like Lewis Capaldi, comedians like Kevin Bridges, Frankie Boyle, or the Big Yin, ladies and gentlemen. Even our animals are famous, like Dolly the sheep. My point is, my friends, the serious point, with an abundance of so much human talent, with so much wealth, with so much resource, don't dare tell me that we are too wee or too poor to be an independent nation. Because the evidence is all around us. Look at those European nations, the size of Scotland, and look how they compare to the UK. Look at Ireland, look at Denmark, look at Austria, look at Sweden. Wealthier than the UK, higher productivity than the UK, fewer people in poverty than the UK, and guess what? They're all independent countries. And independence is not a sideshow. It's not a luxury. It's a fundamental ingredient to each of those countries' successes. And the message that you and I need to take to every single doorstep in the country is pretty simple. If it works for them, and with all of the talent, the resource, the wealth that we have, then why not Scotland? Why not our country? Why not our nation? Friends, we stand here in front of our nation's parliament. Why? We stand here to rededicate ourselves to that cause of independence. And by God, the people of our country need it now more than they've ever needed it before. We believe in independence because this unequal union has caused so much suffering and so much harm. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the people of this country, they're not suffering from a cost of living crisis. They're suffering from a cost of the union crisis. And I don't believe for a minute Sir Keir Starmer when he tells me that the Labour Party offer real change. Keeping the two-child limit is not real change. Keeping the bedroom tax is not real change. Keeping us chained to a Brexit that is damaging our economy is not real change. Saying that you'll apply the rape clause fairly is not real change. The only fair thing to do with the rape clause is consign it to the dustbin of history where it belongs. We are the ones who offer real change. But it's not enough to point out Westminster's failings. There are many of them, and we shall continue to do that. But it's not enough. We have to inspire people. We have to give them a reason to vote for independence. So let's go out there. Let's chat every door, and let's inspire people. Let's give them a vision. Let's tell them that they can imagine an independent Scotland that doesn't waste billions of pounds on the obscenity of nuclear Trident missiles, but spends that money on eradicating poverty. Tell them, imagine an independent nation that doesn't turn away our brothers and sisters who are fleeing persecution and war. Imagine a Scotland where we show compassion to those who are suffering. Imagine a Scotland where we show them compassion, not callousness. Imagine a Scotland where we open our homes and our hearts to them, that we offer them sanctuary, we don't send them on planes to Rwanda. Tell them, imagine a Scotland that has rejoined the European Union, where our young people once again have the opportunities that generations in the past have had, where they'll be able to work and study and travel abroad, live in the European Union. And of course, we'll welcome Europeans to our nation too. Tell them to imagine that in this world where we see too much darkness too often, that independent Scotland will stand up as a beacon of light, of social justice, a well-being economy, and show global leadership in issues like climate change. Tell them to imagine a better future that only comes, friends, with independence. And that is our job. Our job is to inspire people, not just point out the failings of the miserable Westminster government, but to inspire people, give them a reason to vote for independence. And if you look for inspiration, look at the past and look at the future. Take inspiration from the giants on whose shoulders we stand on, the brilliant people of our movement, the Neil McCormacks, the Margot McDonalds, the George Leslies, the Winnie Ewings, the Bashir Ahmeds that have gone in the past. But so too look forward. Look at our children. Look at our grandchildren. Look at the Waynes, the Bairns, and say to them that we believe and we will do everything that we can in our power to make sure they have a future where they make decisions for themselves and are not burdened with a cruel Westminster government. Because friends, that is the prize. And I want to end with that imagination, that inspiration. I've stood here in rallies before and I've asked you to imagine that moment when Scotland becomes an independent country. Well, I want you to indulge me again, but not that moment. I want you to think of another moment. I want you to imagine that we are standing here again, gathered not in our thousands, but this time in our millions. The vote has been won, the negotiations with the UK government done. And here we are standing, looking at giant screens that are showing the proceedings of the Scottish Parliament. I'll be in there, but don't worry, there'll be plenty of folk out here. And we imagine that moment when the presiding officer looks at the results of the motion in front of them and says and announces that the Scottish Independence Bill, which will repeal the Act of the Union, has been passed by a majority of that Scottish Parliament. And you take that feeling, and you take that inspiration, and you make sure, and I will make sure, that we will knock every single door in this beautiful country. We will talk to every single Scot with patience, with persuasion. That is our task here at hand, because remember this journey for Scotland to regain her independence was not started by us. We are the latest custodians of that journey, of this cause. It wasn't started by us. It's a journey that's been going on not for decades, but for centuries. Ladies and gentlemen, we may not have started the job, but it's our job for the sake of our children, our grandchildren, and those future generations that are yet to be born, to get on with it and finish it. And I'll be by your side every single step of the way. Thank you very much, Edinburgh!
What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. Let's hear it for Humza! Humza, Yousaf!
Now next up, it's the brains behind today's operation.